I've come on to make a video. I'm parked up in a lay-by because we've got a deal in our house that our children are completely protected from all this that's going on in the outside world. And I've tried to stay quiet and I've tried to deactivate my Facebook and leave everybody to it, but I can't. I've just taken part in a global meditation earlier today, and the more I meditate on this, the more I just keep getting told that I need to speak. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not here to talk about conspiracy theories. I'm not here to talk about 5G, about global sex rings, about Q, about any rabbit hole that anybody might have gone down, because I keep getting labelled a conspiracy theorist when all I ever do is share my truth and my fact. I don't know the ins and outs of 5G. I don't know the ins and outs of global sex rings. Who does? So I'm just going to share my truth, and if I share, I'm going to share what I perceive to be fact. And the facts are that for the past 5 years or so, I have put everything I have into the fight for body autonomy and the right to live in freedom. And every day at the minute, the past 11 days especially, I've watched people's human rights and basic rights get stripped back to fundamentally nothing. And my voice is shaking. I'm shaking. I can't sit on this any longer. I'm going to share my story. My story is that I followed government advice. I took my precious baby boy 15 years ago to have his vaccines. He was vaccinated at 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 12 months, and he suffered irreversible damage. And that was because I was following government health advice. Still didn't connect very many dots, but then I started looking into nutrition, and I started taking a lot of nutrition courses because I wanted to take control of myself and my children's health. And the more I learnt about what we're supposed to be eating for optimal health and what we're not supposed to be eating for optimal health compared with government advice was blowing my mind. Like, just research the effect of dairy on the human body. It's incredibly mucus forming, and yet we're encouraged to give it to our kids. Government advice right now on the NHS advice, symptoms of coronavirus, up your dairy intake. Worst thing you could be doing for a cough. Categorically worst thing you could be doing for a cough. Full stop. I'm very concerned with the fact that amongst all this scaremongering in the media, I'm going to get on to what I think about the media in a moment. Amongst all this scaremongering in the media, all these stories that are being shared, they're not sharing any on what you could be doing to boost your immunity naturally. They've kept it very low key that Korea and New York City have had massive success in treating this virus with intravenous vitamin C. You know, it would have been cheaper to airdrop everybody in the world a massive abundance of vitamin C than it would have been to crash the global economy. But hey, what do I know? So, you know, take away from the fact it could be looked at a conspiracy that I don't personally believe in germ theory. Let's not forget that that's what it is. It's a theory. I've shared videos on this page. Tom Barn has just done one that's gone viral. It keeps getting pulled down, explaining how it's impossible for you to be able to catch a virus. It's impossible that people out there right now, these healthy people that you see everywhere in Sainsbury's, when you're out on your daily walk or for your daily exercise, when you're seeing these healthy people everywhere touching shopping trolleys and everything, you're perfectly fine. Bacteria can spread. You are majority bacteria. This is another thing when it comes to the advice that you're being given. People up and down the country are slathering themselves in antibacterial gel. I've news for you. You are more bacteria than cells. When you are rubbing yourself with this stuff, you are literally destroying half of your being. I haven't used antibacterial gel once in my life. I haven't used it since all this bullshit came out. I sometimes used to use the occasional bit when I was at university and I came out of the library because students are disgusting. And that was only if I couldn't get to wash my hands. But my kids have never had it on. Up and down the country right now, people are destroying their microbiome by all this overuse of excessive cleaning of chemicals in the home. This advice that is being shared, if you are to strip it down and independently look at it, you will see that the advice you are following are by people who know nothing about health, about immunity, about disease, about any of it. I mean, when it comes to the media, follow the money trail, okay? When you've got journalists like, I mean, I'll give you an example from the anti-vax movement, but when you've got journalists like Brian Deere from the fucking Sunday Times writing the most salacious things about doctors like Andrew Wakefield, look at that. What you then need to do is look at what shares he owns, okay? Look at what company. I've news for you, a lot of vaccine makers. Follow the money. Always follow the money. It's not that hard to do. If you are allowing mainstream media to inform you, then you are allowing them to form your reality. Okay, not everybody on YouTube is a crackpot. When people like Del Bigtree are sharing peer-reviewed articles, are sharing government statistics, these things cannot be viewed as conspiracy. It's where you're getting your fucking information from. When the media are picking and choosing their articles and their statistics, but when they're putting their spin on it, you're buying it. When it's coming from somebody on YouTube, you're dismissing it as a conspiracy. Do you have to be told where to look? I've been trying to get some freedom of information requests done recently from the PHE, from Public Health, and I am asking one simple question, and it's astonishing, but I can't seem to get an answer for it. I've also asked hospitals in the USA, I've been in touch with the USA and China, and still can't get it answered. My question is this: of all the people that are dropping down dead of this so-called COVID-19, don't even like saying that fucking word, it is such a bad word energetically. Just call it the virus. Of all these people that are dropping down dead of it, how many people have received a flu vaccine in the last 24 months? The reason I ask is because 2 studies that were done by the Department of Defence showed that people who had had the flu vaccine in the last 4 months were 4 times more likely to contract severe respiratory infections and a coronavirus. Again, those studies are out there for you to find. Why is nobody answering my freedom of information request? I suppose it's because they're all too busy, isn't it? Yeah. So speaking of what the media isn't telling you, how many of you out there have gone through the Coronavirus Bill Act that was passed 11 days ago? I'm speaking to you people here in the UK now. Did you know your child can now be quarantined away from you at a facility deemed suitable if they are showing symptoms? Now, this thing has a list of symptoms as long as my arm. Granted, I've got limbs smaller than Tyrion Lannister, but still, any symptom. They can fabricate a dry cough, a temperature, nausea, aches and pains. Are you happy with that? Are you happy with your child being... We're currently having checkpoints, okay? They can stop your car, they can ask where you're going. Symptom checks will be next at these checkpoints. Again, haven't pulled this out my arse. It's in the bill that was passed. You've been stripped of every basic human right you ever had. And granted, we have always been slaves in this system. But right at the moment, you are in an Orwellian hell. And from what I can gather, the majority of you seem to be getting through it via fucking TikTok videos and watching some dumbass American shag tigers with a really weird haircut, if the memes I'm getting are like anything to go by. I hate saying wake up because it's so patronising, but you're sleepwalking into your own personal Black Mirror hell if you do not wake up and see what is happening around you. This isn't conspiracy. You have lost your human rights. Not only have you lost them, if you're self-isolating because you think you can spread something that you do not have, you're bending over and asking the government not just to take them but to fuck you that little bit harder. And take it from a girl that spent more time on her 20s on hotel pillows than a chocolate mint. I know a good fucking when I see one, and this is what's happening right now. You're getting fucked. So it's time for us all to stand up, band together, start applying some common sense and get rid of the most pernicious virus that is currently in your home. You fucking